chose to submit AmeriQ for a
Yes.
makeover. What brand challenge do you face at AmeriQ?
Well, we have experienced some significant membership growth over the last couple of years. But what we haven't done is taken a look at our brand. So what Nick and I often talk about is our brand really resonating with our membership, both our existing membership as well as our future membership?
All right, great. Ron, Nick, anything to say?
Yeah, no, exactly to piggyback off that, right? We've also, in addition to the growth, we've had some leadership redefinitions and some new folks have come on board. I've been around for about a year and a half. Ron's been around about a year. We thought this was just a great time to just kind of take a step back and see what you guys come up with.
Good, newbies, trying to shake things up.
Absolutely, trying
That's
to
right.
shake things up.
We like them fresh.
That sounds good to us. All right, so let's tell you a little bit about AmeriQ. AmeriQ is a $1.5 billion institution. They have 130,000 members. They just eclipsed that number. They have 19 financial centers. They're about 65 years old, and they're located, as you see here, in central and northern New York State, the upstate as it's known. Their core market is Rome, Utica. It's where they're based, but that is not their growth market. That's not their target. Their target markets exist elsewhere in what they call North Country, where the Fort Drum military base is located and the surrounding areas, and then in Syracuse proper. Syracuse, its suburbs, and the surrounding area. The demographic here is very much Main Street America. It's hardworking, middle-income folks. And something we thought was very interesting about this area, as well as the member base at AmeriQ, is it's spread evenly across demographics. You've got just as many Gen Y millennials as you have baby boomers and Gen X, and that's actually great for the credit union. We like that. So this is the current logo. Recently, within the last year, dropped credit union, as AmeriQ credit union was a little redundant, and added this tagline, for every day, for everything. Ty, tell us about this brand. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we see a lot of this with credit unions. The typeface is a bit more traditional. It looks like a 70s typeface with the traditional stars and stripes. Creative pieces tend to look like this. There's a lot that we're trying to message throughout all these various pieces.
So with that, we're going to go into the brand strategy, and this is all about moving forward. So that's a little snapshot of what exists today. Let's talk about brand strategies. So let's start with this statement. A brand is not a logo. We think it's critical to say that right off the bat because this makeover is not about a new logo for AmeriQ. It is about a new perception, a new reputation. This mark, the Nike symbol, one of the most famous logo marks that exist in the world, but the brand stands for something so much bigger than that. It stands for the potential for the everyman to be great and to do great things. That is a brand, not a logo. In this can is sugar water that doesn't cost very much to make, and it's a patented formula locked in a vault somewhere, but a brand is not a product. A brand is not the product inside this can. The brand is everything outside the can that makes Coke the second most internationally and globally known word behind the word okay. Think about that. That is the power of a brand. What a brand is a gut feeling. I love this definition from Marty Neumeier. It's a gut feeling about a person has about a product, a service, or an organization. It's just what your gut says. It's what you think of. And Jeff Bezos of Amazon says, a brand for a company is like a reputation for a person, and we couldn't agree more. What we're trying to get here, too, is BX. Brand experience. It's your reputation. It's what everyone thinks about you, from your logo to your community involvement, to your plastics, to your mobile app, to your social. It's what the industry and your competitors think. It's your BX, your reputation, and that's what we're trying to affect. Right, Ty?
BX.
Yes. So, like a person, you can respect, like, and even love a brand, says Procter & Gamble's former CEO. And so with that, we'd like to take an archetypal approach to branding. How many people in this room have heard of archetypes? Okay, good. Hands up. If you were in our brand workshop last year, you better have your hand up. So archetypes are personalities that exist in the collective unconscious of us all. And when you see them, they hopefully resonate. When you see the lover, the rebel, the citizen, the hero, they evoke something that you understand, and that's because these are personalities that exist in myth, in nature, in religion, in philosophy. They recur in TV and movies. You just get them. Archetypes in branding have been proven to make brands more successful because people can relate to them as people. And we believe that people have relationship with brands in the same way people have relationships with people. It is a psychological approach to branding, if you will. There are 12 archetypal families that are running around that wheel, and then there are 4 sub-archetypes within each family, so you actually have 60 archetypes in branding to choose from. And you see around this wheel some famous brands, and you can see that Oprah is the sage, Coke, who we talked about, is the innocent, Nike is the hero, Trader Joe's is the citizen, and you kind of get that. And that's what we're here to do today for Makeover. We have assigned you an archetypal personality. Don't be afraid. It is in the Jester family, so just stay with me. In the Jester family, you have famous brands like Geico and M&M's. Jester is fun, pleasurable, joyful, makes people smile, is to be remembered, but is really about being jovial. Within that are 4 sub-archetypes. And the archetype we've chosen for you is the provocateur. Okay, let's talk about the provocateur. The provocateur archetype refuses to be ignored. The provocateur absolutely demands to stand out. They are an activator. That's a big difference between the jester. The provocateur is trying to promote action, and even more than that, they're trying to evoke action for a greater cause. That's important. They do so with charisma, with comedy, with charm, and they offer the possibility of experiencing the joy in life. So ultimately, it's freeing you to see something greater. That's the provocateur. Some examples of that: The Onion. Some of you may or may not like The Onion. Hopefully, you've all heard of it. It is a brand that's actually not based on shock and awe. The Onion is about a brand based on uncovering deeper insights within, and they do it in a way that can't be ignored because it's so in your face, but they're trying to champion the good people, championing the victim. They don't ever make jokes against victims. They make jokes against bullies, and they are actually standing for good. Another example is Jimmy Fallon. This guy is the most successful guy in late night because he actually uncovers deeper meaning with the celebrities. He interviews, he does things with them that bring out their humanism and their personality. And at the core, he's a good man, and he shows that in many of his charitable events and organizations that he supports. He is trying to activate ultimately for good, but doing so in an entertaining way with comedy and charm and charisma. So, next thought: if people believe they share values with a company, they will stay loyal to a brand. I am super loyal to Starbucks. This is not my neck and tattoo, but Starbucks knows that they share values with me, and I'm going to have my venti, non-fat, no-water chai tea latte wherever I want, in any Starbucks all over the world, and it's going to be consistent, and therefore I am loyal. Many of you have values, and they are often thought of as internal values, core values, if you will. That's good. You should have values. You should have things that are important to your organization. But we want you to think about what values can be externally facing that are shared with what your audience cares about. That little space of shared values is a very important area. It's kind of the gold of what you believe in and your customers, in this case, members, want. So we analyzed your member research that you conducted recently and shared with us about what they wanted in general in a financial institution and what they were finding in you, as well as what you told us about yourselves and what you care about. We came up with 2 things. Number 1, digital channel satisfaction. This may not seem like a shocking revelation, but what's interesting is that you have incredibly high digital channel satisfaction. Over 95% of your members are really satisfied with your digital experience, and that's actually quite high, especially for credit unions. So that is something you believe in, have dedicated your organization to giving, and your members really, really value. The second thing is seamless service. Everyone hears about omni-channel this and that because customers, members, want to interact seamlessly across channels. you have dedicated yourselves to making that service as seamless as possible. It's one of your key goals as an organization. These are the two things we think stand out the most as shared values. So then, that's great and all. We have a provocateur archetype. We're sharing values with our members. We're super doing great, except you don't exist in a vacuum. There's a competitive landscape. So now we look at the universe and the market you serve. GE quote from Jack Welch, if you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. So now we're getting at your competitive advantage. So in this creepy brain head, we're going to show all of the competitors that exist in your market. So you've got a bunch of credit unions. You've got Access, Core, Edge, Money, Empower. And by the way, if anyone's renaming and is looking for all the good names, they're apparently taken in upstate New York here. And then you have community banks, which interestingly, something you told us about these banks, from NBT to Fulton Savings, that they're actually confused with the credit unions in your market. They're almost thought of as one and the same thing. So this is like a giant competitive landscape here. And then you've got the big guys. You've got regional players like M&T and Citizens, and national players like B of A and Navy. And then, like all of the rest of you out there, you've got the non-bank players, the Allies, the SoFis, the Rocket Mortgages. We don't know what's going to happen with them or what other new entrants are going to come on. So this is a very complex competitive landscape. And when we think about a blue ocean, red ocean strategy, meaning in the red ocean, everybody's saying and doing the same things and fighting over market share, and the ocean becomes bloody because the fish are eating each other. In the red ocean, you don't want to be there. So in your red ocean, you've got a bunch of regional and national players. You've got non-bank options. You've got numerous CUs and community banks that are kind of working together and nobody knows the difference. You've got a lot of people touting hometown values, personalized service, local this and local that. We cannot differentiate you on that, although those are things that are important to you and things that you do. When we tried to look for your blue ocean area of opportunity, this is what we found, the one call process. And we found it because you told us that you have a one call process, and we thought this was fantastic. You believe that the first person that any member contacts at any point in time is the only person that is empowered to help them all the way through, whatever it might be. So that is seamless for the member. That is an incredible value proposition, and that's something we believe is your blue ocean opportunity as far as what you offer. So now, let's put all these pieces together. We've got an archetype in the provocateur. We have digital channel satisfaction and seamless service in your shared values. And then in your competitive landscape, we've got a one-call process, and all of that synthesizes into a brand positioning. Your brand positioning is the most important strategic element in your branding because it's the position you're going to take in the market. And the position we have for you is frictionless activation. Okay, so this is internally facing. It's a strategic statement. It is not your tagline. It is truly something for us to ideate around as our objective, and we're going to explain what that means. So again, you are capitalizing your positioning on frictionless activation. First, frictionless, what does that mean? Hopefully you kind of know, but specifically, not impeded by or creating friction. Continuous, achieved with very little difficulty, easy. And then what is activation? It is to cause, to function, or act to make real, to elicit a response or excite. So this brand positioning is a mix of the shared values, the one-call process, all enabling frictionlessness, and activating that to reality, i.e. the provocateur who wants to promote action and do good. This is your brand positioning. And Ty, what do we do with that positioning?
We do a lot of great stuff with it. Hopefully. So go with me here. So let's look at the creative. So frictionless activation, that's a lot, that's a mouthful. And I think as a credit union, we really want to humanize the stuff and kind of make it bite-sized and make it purposeful for your brand and feel like it's on point and really resonates with who you guys are as well as your audience. So we have two big groupings, big directions that you're going to see today. What we do at Adrenaline, we ideate, we take the strategy, then we think of ideas and sketches and concepts and know that our teams kind of work They show lots of work, we send them back, we make people cry, they come back, they do it all over again, and we kind of group them into two big buckets. The first bucket is direction 1, and it is called made. Because we really like this idea of made. It goes to activation, it goes to crafting something for people, it goes to making things for our members. We were inspired by this song.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
So that was an interesting thought. This land was made for you and me. It has some Americana tropes. It really was inspired by the founding of America, where this land was a better opportunity for people. And we as people want banking made the way we want it. Simplified, easy, frictionless, in all these ways. And we thought that was a really interesting nugget. This land was made for you and me. But what if we spun that and made that this land, or made for me and you? Me, as a member of a credit union, being that I'm a member, that I can speak about it proudly of who we are as a brand. So I can speak about me as a member, you, our credit union services, our value prop is made for me, made for you, and that's a really interesting platform to champion the members and champion the people. Because we really can make it better. We can make it simple, easy, convenient. AmeriQ makes it modern, friendly, made for me, and made for you. And we think how it can execute is like this.
In America, we like our things like we like our things. So make it easy. Make it handy. Helpful. Uncomplicated. A cinch. A snap. A breeze. Make it a piece of cake, like riding a bike. Smooth sailing. Effortless. Make it straightforward. Simple, like Sunday morning. Make it easy for me. AmeriQ, made for me and you.
So we really like this idea of made for me and you as a platform expression. It's bigger than a tagline. It's a way to communicate all of our values and services. And we know that a brand is bigger than a mark and bigger than a symbol, so you're going to see a good assortment of a lot of creative today. But in this version, we gave you a new logo. I know you didn't ask for one, but we gave you a new logo. And I can tell you a little bit about it. Really what it is we've cleaned up the typeface. So a lot of times we want to kind of modernize this. It's a little cleaner. It's got a custom ligature between the A and the M. We've kind of spaced it out. And we have introduced what we call a dynamic new star. So we took your stars and stripes, and we made it into a different direction. Because here's your current logo. And here's this new one. And really, the idea is, if you think about rebranding and making a brand for today, and all of our new mechanisms that we might have, or the platforms, or our ecosystem, and the mediums that we have in the future, we're really planning for 10, 20 years from now, what colors can mean, what screens can mean. Logos nowadays don't have to be made super small and black and white. They're made full color in all colors. They're designed to move. They're designed to change. So we wanted to give you this dynamic new star and have the potential for it to redesign itself into all these various other aspects of your brand, not only today, that might come into play in the future. So your new mark changes. It has the potential to. So think on that. We started here with the inspiration of reshaping money, paper money. It's an old school concept. But I think some of the kids are getting back into it. And this idea of this new paper star, but having it kind of origami fold and remake itself is an interesting premise. Our process, we all sketched, so we did lots of sketches, looked at lots of stuff, and then we digitized. Showing you some new pieces. So potential new business card. We're using this big new dynamic star, cropped big and large, really fronting that. New letterhead, a new member kit. The idea is it's made for me, Tai Wong, and you could rewrite anybody's name there. So it's made customized for all the people. Some signage examples. Made for Syracuse. Here we're using some kind of paper texture because it really indicates the human aspect of a credit union. Dynamic crops that are very energetic based off your new mark. And this would be a line system, so made for Syracuse and you, made for Ithaca, made for Rome, made for any of your branches. It would appear in your branch that way. Some new tall credit cards. So here, as a part of the design, made for is in there as well. So we're made for, does anybody know M. Harry? Never mind, it's from a movie. New cards. Here's what we like to call an ad lob. So here's the first kind of piece you're seeing of a piece of advertising creative. Really human language that's kind of frank, made easy, like Sunday morning. We're the credit union made for you. So we have kind of what we like to call slices of life, these little intimate moments of people feeling relaxed, feeling easy, because when Americu can make banking simplified and easy for me, you can have this emotional benefit. So you're going to see people that are kind of warm, very human throughout the campaign. Here we have irony, made effortless, like afternoon climbs for those vets in the region there. We proudly serve the mountain division of the Fort Drum community. This guy can climb way better than I can. Made for road trips. Let us find an auto loan that moves you. Made for multitasking. One-call financial questions. We'll handle any one-call financial question. The parenting is up to you. Made easy peasy, like riding a bike. We'll handle your money. You focus on what's ahead. Here's a look at a banner ad for a mortgage. Made for it's perfect. Made for we'll take it. And mortgages made easy. Made easy as 1, 2, 3. Here's a fun idea as a social extension for the MADE campaign. This is actually Gina's daughter, because now it's Mother's Day, but this will be a Facebook plugin that allows you to champion the brand. So here, this is made for Avery and me as a Mother's Day post. Notice, too, we're fronting this new design with the dynamic star throughout all the key pieces to introduce it. Some swag and some premiums made for on the go. Made for the tree huggers and me. This is a fun idea, too, of a movie mixer series. So kind of a concert series in the park, for members and anybody else in the community. This could be made for date night or made for family fun. I hope people watch The Bachelor or Game of Thrones. So here, these are some swag, some premiums. I personally like made for all the surviving Starks over there on the right side. And Targaryens. So that was concept number 1 that we called MADE. It's really a brand platform of Made for Me and You, really owning the credit union value prop of membership. Okay?
So summing it up, oh, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
Summing it up strategically, this is very much about frictionlessness being activated. It's banking that's already been made the way you want it. It's not necessarily a play about it's super custom and bespoke to you and you have to make all these decisions. People don't want to make decisions. They want it to be already done for them. It's banking that's already been made, so it gets out of your way and you can actually live your life. That's how it pays off the strategy. That's direction 1. Ty, show us direction 2.
Direction 2 takes a slightly different angle to it. And we call it smooth. Smooth. Because really, when you talk about friction, all of us, there's pain points, there's confusion, there's things. We all want things super easy. I know I want it. I'm sure everybody here wants things easier. Easy is about effortless and easy. It's about simplicity. It's about kind of owning that attitude of it too. What's interesting about effortless and easy is unapologetic. We think your members and we think your audience and your potential new members in terms of growth want to be unapologetic. I think it's great to be a brand that doesn't apologize for however you are and whomever you are. And I think owning that is really, really interesting and cool. And we love championing people who are unapologetic. And then if you look at the provocateur archetype, it's about being kind of brash and humorous and fun. And that's a great way in to be a brand, to be not so serious. You're not a huge bank brand, but you're a credit union. And there's something great about that. So here we want to really champion that ethos to shoot for that higher ground in terms of a brand. And this concept's called smooth. And we think it could go like this.
Everybody likes smooth. It even feels good to say it. Smooth. Like butter. Cool. Like
How you doing?
that guy. Yep, that's smooth. Not smooth. Smooth. Wait for it. Okay, definitely smooth. Life should go down without a hitch. No sweat. No waiting. No hiccups.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Banking should be smooth.
Ain't
too.
nobody got time for
No
that.
friction. Amerique. As smooth as banking can be.
So here we're introducing this new brand platform of smooth and a line of as smooth as banking can be, you know, because it's banking and we have to disclaim things, so as smooth as banking can be. Here's your current logo, and what we've did was we've actually smoothed it out a little bit. We've changed some of your typeface. We've introduced a nice new all caps typeface that's sans serif. It's much more functional for today and much more functional for all the mechanics and the different mediums that we'll need in the future. We always sketch, we always draw. This is just a digital version of it. Into signage. Sample new business cards. And a potential new business kit or new member kit and some other premiums and letterhead. Write it up, Smoothie McSmootherson. New member kit, you're cool, we're cool. Squad goals. New in-branch poster. Stash your cash. Love the guy stashing cash. As smooth as banking can be. Smooth. Looks so good on you. Amerique, smooth as banking can be. You make it look easy. Amerique, as smooth as banking can be. Roll how you want. Auto rates on auto loans. Low rates on auto loans. Smooth as banking can be. Mo money, no problems. An ATM ad. One call, just one call to handle any prickly account situations or issues. Give us one call. Vacay your way. Flexible personal loans for any style. This is a real photo of Rochester just a few weeks ago, just FYI. Red, white, and smooth. Proud to serve the Fort Drum community, the 10th Mountain Division, and for all those who have served. Smooth moves. For a mortgage ad. And, of course, our little companion premium here. Fuzzy dice. Beaded seats. Pine air fresheners. Auto loans for however you want to roll. Let's drive. Smoothie days. You know, you had a thought about smoothie days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love smoothies.
We might have had a smoothie over
Yeah,
there.
partnering with a local juice bar to have smoothies every Friday, every summer. I already
All your
done that.
branches.
Yeah.
Can we do that? How smooth are you? A UGC campaign for the members. After the campaign rolls, and after you introduce it as a brand, it's a Amerique Smooth. Amerique Smooth. You got to have a Zamboni. You got to have a branded Zamboni partnered up with, you know, all your local teams. Yeah, to smooth out the rink, of course. Operated by this guy, the smooth operator. With other premiums like your Keep Things Smooth kit. And I hear it gets pretty cold up there.
A lot of snow.
A lot of snow. So no ice, baby. Because we got to be smooth about it. And that is concept and direction 2 we call smooth.
So direction 2, slightly different take on frictionless, slightly different feel. So here, we're saying that you make banking smooth so you, as a person, or in this case a terrier, can be smooth. It's about owning your smoothness. So it's not slick smooth, it's genuine smooth. It's whatever smooth means to you. So it's transcending a little bit even the functional benefits into a total emotional benefit of banking with AmeriQ is as smooth as banking can be, and therefore you're as smooth as you can be. So with that, any initial thoughts? It comes the time now where I'm going to put you on the initial spot, but you kind of knew this was coming into it.
We did.
So tell us, any thoughts? Let's start with you, Ron. You see this, we're up here, we're talking about brand strategy. We've talked like 2 times before today.
Right.
And we've talked more today than like ever.
Right.
And what do you think about direction 1 or direction 2, or both?
Well, what I like is that they are on 2 ends of the spectrum. So it gives us a clear opportunity to kind of really plan out what our brand and what we see for the future. So I do like having the option of that.
Good.
Yeah, I agree. I will say in the lead up, not everybody spends as much time at AmeriQ as Ron and I do. I will say you get us, right? You get the culture of the organization, so nice job on that. Direction 1, I think, absolutely I can picture in my mind the creative out in our market. I like it. Likewise with direction 2, kind of the fun, easygoing, kind of not too stressful. Yeah, 2 ends of the spectrum. I like them.
Oh, good. Good. You're kind of feeling them.
A little bit.
All right. All right. So, audience, hello, audience. We are going to actually now ask your opinion. So, get out your Forum app.
Everybody pull out their app.
It's on your phone. It's a clue.
If you go into Agenda, which is the top left-hand corner, let's see. It's time for you guys to all vote. If you go to the agenda, click on the agenda, click on the session. It should be at the top. And then click on the poll. And we should have real-time polling on our screens. Seems to be that you guys have a clear favorite on what you think will work best for AmeriQ Credit Union.
What do you think?
If I have to pick a favorite, I got to go with the audience on this one. In terms of match with what we may be able to sell internally as part of it, but then in addition to kind of representing
what you can get
the rest of
approved
the
by
brand.
everybody else.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with the audience.
Okay. Any components to direction 1 that you thought were strongest?
So yes, right, and I'll take some time and formulate a better, more detailed answer, but at the kind of the most core is it feels like us.
I would agree with that. I think that direction 1 does have many of the same qualities that we're portraying today, just in an updated feel and an updated message.
Good. So like modernized, more contemporary, more appealing probably to where we could be today and where you could go.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good.